Hi, my name is Roman, and if you're dreaming about your next trip to Europe, come with me and discover Lisbon in one day. Follow me through this busy capital as I show you step by step the main places to visit. We will start our journey with one of the best coffees in town from Fabrica Coffee Roaster. This coffee shop was created with the desire to share the love and passion for specialty coffee. Their goal is to establish a unique coffee experience by being involved in every step of production. The beans are roasted on-site, they offer a variety of extraction methods, and you can try Lisbon pastries along with specialty sandwiches. To move around the city, you may get a 24-hour travel pass for metro, train, bus and tram. Built in 16th century during the reign of King Manuel I by Portuguese architect and sculptor Francisco de Arruda, Belém Tower is sometimes known as the Tower of Saint Vincent, as its construction celebrated the expedition to India of Vasco da Gama, the famous Portuguese explorer. It is considered one of the best examples of the architecture of its time, known as the Manuelino style, but it also includes distinctive Moorish features. The tower served as a point of embarkation and disembarkation for Portuguese explorers, and as a ceremonial gateway to Lisbon, as well as being used to defend the city. Nearby is Padrão dos Descobrimentos, the monument to the discoveries. 52 meters tall, this monument marks 500 years since the death of Henry the Navigator, who discovered the Azores, Madeira and Cape Verde. Across the road, you'll find vast gardens to rest from the busy city. In there you will find a pavilion offered by Thailand to celebrate 500 years of diplomatic relationship. For a break from sightseeing, try the Pastel de Blanc, Portuguese egg custard tart. The pastries were invented by monks in the nearby Geronimo Monastery. In 1834, the monastery had to close down, and the recipe was sold to a local businessman named Domingos Rafael Alves. Today, they sell around 20,000 pastries a day, and the original recipe is a closely guarded family secret. The Geronimo Monastery is a religious building that was designed by the Portuguese architect Diogo de Boitaca to commemorate the return of Vasco da Gama from India. The construction began on 6 January 1501 and took around 100 years to finish. The building is predominantly manual in style. In fact, the monastery was built on the site of the former Ermida do Restelo, the chapel where Vasco da Gama and the rest of the sailors prayed before setting sail down the African coast to India. King Manuel originally funded the project with money obtained from a 5% tax on commerce from Africa and the Orient, equivalent to 70 kilograms of gold per year. The Church of Santa Maria is unique in the world. The temple has a single nave that is held up by 6 beautifully sculpted columns, and the church seems to go on forever. The church houses the tombs of Vasco da Gama and Luís de Camões, a Portuguese poet and writer. Now it's time for lunch, and we will visit Timeout Market in Mercado da Ribeira. A place that previously housed the city's best vendors now houses its best restaurants and artists. The principle here is bringing the best of city under one roof. Five top Portuguese chefs have restaurants here that offer traditional and modern dishes, and it's visited by 4 million people each year. Heading back towards the city center, we pass through Praça do Comércio, formerly known by Terreiro do Paço, which hosted the Paço da Ribeira, the main residence of kings of Portugal for 250 years, until the latter was destroyed by the great 1755 Lisbon earthquake. The name Commercial Square belongs to the Pombal era and represents the new social order that the minister to King José I wanted to favor and promote, the trading, financial and bourgeois class that had contributed so much to rebuilding the city. Coming through Rua Augusta, you'll find many city squares and the notorious purple trees adorning Lisbon, Jacarandá tree. The Santa Justa lift is an elevator in Lisbon and is the fastest way to get from Baixa neighborhood to the Bairro Alto district. The Elevador de Santa Justa stands 45 meters tall, and the structure is built in the same style as the renowned French architect Eiffel. Curiously, this lift can carry 20 people upwards, but can only take 15 people down. The queue to ride it is always long, but you can ascend by foot through narrow streets and get to viewpoints for free. On our way to Convento do Carmo, you will find a Brasileira, one of the oldest coffee shops in Lisbon with Fernando Pessoa's statue. Convento do Carmo is an historic ruin which is the city's most striking example of the devastation caused by the 1755 earthquake. The roof of the church collapsed, causing significant damage to the church building and its library. Nowadays, the ruined Gothic church is used as the archaeological museum. The eclectic museum also displays Egyptian and some rather scary Peruvian mummies, a collection of coins and many of the treasures from Portugal's monasteries, which were dissolved in 1834. After a quick stroll in Bairro Alto narrow streets, hop on the iconic tram 28 to São Jorge Castle. The castle is one of the Lisbon's most notorious landmarks. The silhouette of the castle stands out both by day and when illuminated at night, located on the summit of São Jorge Hill, the highest of 7 hills in Lisbon. The castle itself was founded in the 10th and 11th centuries. In 1147, the first king of Portugal, Dom Afonso Henriques, captured both the castle and the city from the Moors. According to the legend, during the siege, Martim Muniz saw the Moors closing the castle doors. He led an attack on the doors and sacrificed himself by lodging his own body in the doorway, preventing the defenders from fully closing the door and leading to the eventual capture of the castle. It was here, in the 16th century, that King Dom Manuel I received Vasco da Gama after his sea voyage to India, and that the first Portuguese theatre play, written by Gil Vicente, was performed to mark the birth of the King Dom João III. Here, by the end of the day, you can enjoy a beautiful sunset. After the castle, explore the most emblematic quarter and one of the most rewarding for walkers and photographers thanks to its medieval alleys and outstanding views called Alfama. Because its foundation is dense bedrock, it survived the 1755 earthquake, and the walk through this old-fashioned residential neighborhood is now a step back in time. The district has an intangible quality that needs to be experienced to be fully appreciated, and the best way to get to know it is to get a little lost. It is here that we will end our day and have a tasty dinner in many restaurants with live fado music. Thank you very much to go along with me in this journey.